back to Tom's Trains. Another video today. Just a little update on what's actually going on with my workbench. So first of all, let me show you something that I've actually completed. Here is the London Road Models J69 that I built. Very nice little kit. First locomotive that I built, so it's okay. There's a bit of, as you can see under here, there's a little bit of slop in the sort of chassis and gearbox combination, but it's not too bad at all. It actually had the honour of running very briefly on Grantham, the East of England, the St Neots Model Railway Club exhibition at Wood Green recently, and it really was a very nice kit indeed to build. I wouldn't say it went together really easily. It didn't. It was my first attempt at building something, but you know, at the end of the day, we've got a nice kit-built locomotive. So that's something that I've completed. Let's put that away and show you what I'm working on now. The next locomotive is this one. Hopefully you can see that all right. There we are. It's a LNER C12 class locomotive, and this is from a Southeastern Finecast kit. It's a white metal kit with a brass etched chassis, and that was my first white metal kit. So all I need to do in this one is weather it. Essentially, I need to fit a crew, but most of the work on it is done. As you can see, it's been varnished, so it's quite shiny at the moment. Hopefully that's picking up there on the camera quite nicely. Here you can see, I hope you can see anyway, that I've added quite a lot of lead shot there, and I've also added lead shot in the front here. There's quite a bit of space in there, so that really helps just to give this a lot of extra weight. It's quite heavy now, so it should pull quite a reasonable amount, but it's got a nice Machima motor in there, nice high level kits gearbox, and hopefully that'll be okay. Yeah, so just a quick weathering with that, and I'm going to try, I've not done this on my train modelling before, I've used it on other projects that I've had, model aircraft in particular, but I'm going to try this stuff. This is Flooring Models weathering wash. Essentially, you put the wash on, it's like a clay-based wash, put it on, let it dry, and then rub off where you don't want the clay to be, so it kind of gives that dirty, sort of worn-in look. That's what I'm hoping with that. So we'll give that a try on there. The other thing that I'm working on at the moment is this chap here. There he is. That is a W1. It's an interesting kit because it's a Hornby body, and Graham King does a resin conversion, so it's Hornby up to there, and then this section here is resin. I built these myself. These are from the side frames here myself. These are from the Southeastern Finecast W1 kit, but the rest of this is Hornby. It's had a complete repaint, so all of this you see here is repainted. I added the transfers from Fox Transfers onto the front, and it's also been numbered there, as you can see. Most people, when they do one of these resin conversions, they use the Hornby wheel arrangement, motor, chassis, etc. I decided to use the Southeastern Finecast W1 kit version, and this is this chassis right here. So big Machima round cam motor, and this is also my first attempt at motion. So you can see there, albeit very slowly, that the motion does actually work, which I was incredibly surprised about. But there you go. Bit of a surprise to me, really, because I hadn't done anything like that before. But this is quite a nice tight chassis, actually. If anything, it's too tight, but it does go round 3-foot radius curves, which is what I wanted to do. Just sits on there like that. There we go. Just to give you an idea of what the thing looked like. I think it was converted in 1938 from the high pressure boiler version, that the high pressure steam version that Grizzly made, just didn't work. So he rebuilt it into Britain's only 464 locomotive, and I think it makes an A4, which is already a good looking locomotive, into a fantastic looking locomotive, and it's an absolute beast. I think I need to add a lot of weight to that to make it to give it enough pulling power, but that's shaping up to be quite a nice model. So I really want to get that and the C12 finished definitely before I go home in May, early May. I've got a couple of weeks at home in May. Here's the tender for the W1. This is the Southeastern Finecast tender. Just pop that there. At the moment it's kind of in the first stages of painting. I just had to do some modifications. Tony Wright pointed out that I left the skirt on the side there, the protruding rim on the side there, so I had to remove that, which I'm glad he did point out at that stage, because it was easily removable. I had sort of actually got a decal on it. It was painted, so I've just done that. I'm just repainting it. Just giving it a spray today. There's a couple of little lumps in the paint, unfortunately, so I'll just get those a little smooth out. But that should be fine. I'll get that glossed, and then we'll get the decals on there as well. And this tender weighs an absolute ton, because it's solid white metal. So we'll try and get that done. It shouldn't be too long. Once that's glossed, we'll get that decaled up as well. Excuse me for reaching across. Here's the that's just the chassis for the tender. And for some reason, I don't know why, we've got a wobbly tender, so I think one of these wheels might be a bit out. When I go and see Tony in May, I'll take this stuff to him and we'll have a little look, and hopefully we'll be able to cure it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention on the W1, I just need to blacken the valve gear down here, obviously take away the shiny nature of it, obviously give it a light weathering. This is going to be quite a clean locomotive. Light weathering, maybe a crew inside and add the final detail parts, but that's probably 90% there. The C12's 95% there. The J69 is complete. Next thing I've been doing is working on the J3, London Road Models J3. Just got the frames together. They went together really, really quickly actually. They're quite wide, so I've had to file away the bearings there just to get the wheels, give them a bit of side plate, because there wasn't much lateral clearance there. So I just filed the top hat off the bearings just to give the wheels more side plate so they can go around tighter curves. I just need that for my test. It's not really for the layout that I intend to run it on, but it's just really for the test track that I use, just to prove the locomotives actually work. Made a bit of a mistake, which I've just realised this afternoon. I put this front spacer here in the wrong place. It should be up on the top there, but I can move that, that's not a problem. But otherwise that's a nice true chassis. And I use the Poppy's Loco Builder box here, just to sort of help with the alignment. It's a really good little thing actually. I can show you that briefly, how this works. Basically, when you're building the chassis, you've got these 3 1/8 inch rods which go through, and they, once you've soldered on the bearings to each side of the frame, you can just insert this. Obviously they'll be in 2 halves, but you can insert the rods through the axle bearings on each side of the frame, and you've got one central one there which just keeps, which is fixed, so that can't move, that one, and then these ones obviously can move backwards and forwards. And then you can see that you've now got the chassis on there like so, and what that means is that everything is straight and true and level. And if you want to be really fastidious, you can actually put the coupling rods on the end there on these points. That's probably more for scratch building. I didn't find it necessary for this, but basically it helps to hold the model when you're soldering up all the frames. So you know, you can just hold the frames together like so and solder, try not to get it wrong like I did. Solder everything up and you get a really nice straight and true chassis. And in the future, if obviously there's some interest and people want to see it, I'll show me building it with the Loco Builder box. At the moment with the channel, I'm just experimenting with different camera views. I'm using a different camera today to what I've used before. I think it's probably a nice image coming from my digital SLR. Unfortunately, I don't have the capability with my camera to have continuous autofocus during movies, which is a bit of a bind. So we're kind of making do. What I've done is lock the focus off so you don't get that continual clicking. And I figure this is probably about right. Looking at it on the screen, I've just got live view up on the screen so I can see it. So that's the chassis there for the J3. That's pretty good. That's nice and smooth. And then this is the motor and gearbox combination there. High level kits gearbox. So quite a lot to do, but I think I can get this done before I go home in May. That's the aim. The other thing I need to do is order some bits from markets because I forgot to order crank pins, and the ones supplied don't fit for whatever reason. The other big project that I've got going on at the moment is this. And this is my Wizard Models LNER Silver Jubilee rake. Lovely etchings. I've got this first one made up. I've got the roof here. It's just cut to length. But as you can see, that's going to make up into a really beautiful rake of coaches. It's hard work. I had to solder in each and every one of these door hinges. Quite a lot of scratch building here. You can see the rig that I'm using to hold the chassis bottom on. Let's just pop that in so you can see how that goes. So that kind of sits in there like that, and then the bogies sit on the ends there, so that'll be kind of floating. But hopefully when I do a bit more work on this, I'll be able to show you exactly what I'm doing with this. But yeah, if this interests you, if this is something you want to see more of, me building this etch coach kit, then please let me know. I've got to do some work on the roofs. I don't have the rest of them at the moment, that's why work stopped. They're all in the UK, so I'll pick those up when I go in May and bring them back, and we'll get working on those. But that's kind of like the low priority job at the moment. And let's pop that there. And then we've got the bogies. I've got lots of these made up. These are the MJT bogies. They're actually compensated there, as you can see, and they're quite nice actually. They're very nice indeed. So I've made up all of those bogies like that. They're all painted and ready to go. So as you can see, they move quite freely indeed. So I think that's just about everything that's going on at the moment on the workbench. I think, yeah, that's about it really. I've got a lot of projects going on, a few things that need finishing off, something that's being built, something on hold, a bit of weathering, a bit of painting to do. So it's all looking pretty good at the moment. Yeah, please do let me know if you find this interesting, what you'd like to see me do. As I say, I want to get onto some building so I can talk through what I'm doing when I'm building. And yeah, if you like it, please let me know. Thanks very much. See you next time.